Take. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has come under fire this week after comments he made following Sunday's in which he criticized teammates for being late or not showing up at all to players-only meetings. On Wednesday, Tua apologized for those comments.
I've made a mistake, and I'm owning up to that right now. I've talked to guys on the team about it, talked to the leaders about it. I felt like I let the emotions of the game get to me after the game. And, that's something that I can learn from as a leader on this team. And what happens in-house should be protected, and none of that should have gotten out. And so want to publicly apologize about that, want to move forward, and now want to focus on the Cleveland Browns.
Did Tua need to apologize, Dan Orlovsky?
I say no. One, everybody for a while now has been like, I want Tua to be more demonstrative. I want him to break away a little bit from the relaxed, maybe Hawaiian lifestyle that people boxed him into. And he's done that, and now a lot of people don't like it. What's more important is Tua has to play better and they have to win. Okay, like Tua has not played to the level that he has been accustomed to this year. They're 1-5. He shared things that maybe weren't in the right forum, but are they real? Are they truthful? Are they happening within the organization? Is this the first time it's been talked about? Did Tua skip over talking to about it with a teammate, or talking to about it with a leader, or talking to about it with a coach and go directly to the media? If that's the case, yes. But if this isn't the first time, here's where I settle on the whole situation though, Stephen A. and RC, is it does feel and sound like Tua's not comfortable being in that version of a leader. It doesn't feel like he's comfortable being confrontational in that regard. I've been around a quarterback that is exceptional, trending Hall of Famer. He don't like confrontation either. He's not a confrontational dude, and so he needed people around him to handle that. It doesn't feel or sound like Tua's comfortable in that role, and he's trying to figure out the way to do it in the midst of losing. And we all know what the end result is going to be if the winning doesn't get better.
That's the last part right there. It's in the midst of losing. If it was in the midst of winning, he wouldn't have to have this problem.
Correct.
Maybe you went out there and won some damn football games. You wouldn't have these problems. That's really what it comes down to. But go ahead, RC, your response.
I mean, if you're winning, you're not being asked these questions or having this conversation. Right. And I don't feel like Tua needed to apologize, but I'm glad he did. We live in this world where people say and do things that are hurtful, and they don't care what their perception is. So they don't apologize. They don't take accountability. They don't understand the impact of what they've done, whether or not that's the intent. And then sometimes it is their intent. Tua Tagovailoa is trying to lead this team. And author Jocko Willink, who is an ex-Navy SEAL, has this book called Extreme Ownership. And in that book, he talks about this process where they're being interrogated, or they're talking about this mission that went wrong. And in asking about how the mission went wrong, the leader of the group says, well, such and such did this, or this part didn't work out, or this thing went wrong. And they keep saying, no, that's not what went wrong. That's not what went wrong. And then eventually they get to the point where the leader goes, well, it was all on me. I made the mistake. That's what Tua Tagovailoa is doing. Tua Tagovailoa is now ingratiating himself into this locker room to say publicly, in the same form that he outed his teammates and didn't take the accountability on himself, that I made a mistake and now I'm ready to move on. I believe this has a much bigger impact than anything he can do on the field now. And now it's about going and finding ways to win. I appreciate Tua taking this accountability. I think he is uncomfortable in this new leadership role in which people are trying to push him in. This dude wants to play football, he wants to play well, and he wants to lead by example. That's what he needs to do going forward. But I do respect the fact he took accountability.
I respect the fact that he took accountability as well. Here's my issue with Tua and the Miami Dolphins. First of all, your coach. He's clearly not a leader. He's a brilliant offensive mind, but he's not a leader of men, which I think a head coach needs to be, because if he were, you're not having these kind of problems, even if you're struggling winning football games. The Miami Dolphins are Mike McDaniel specifically, is 1-15 in his last 16 games against teams with winning records. 1-15. And then I'm looking at Tua, Well, you know what? You signed a contract extension last year with an average of $53 million a year. You know that's costing y'all the ability to go out there and get other cats. And so it's entirely plausible. You see, when you're out there in a press conference, fellas, RC and Dio, and you're saying what you're saying, it's entirely plausible that the frustration of winning is not, or not winning, is not all that there is to this. It could be that because you're getting paid that kind of money, all right, you got cats looking at you, and you second in the league in turnovers with 8 behind Geno Smith, all right, with you averaging over 53 million, and they're looking at you and they're lacking respect. He might have been up there saying that because he's feeling the lack of respect being accorded to him by cats wearing the same uniform. That might have been more to have to do with this than them just losing games. That's where I'm at with it, RC.
I have a question for you, Stephen A.
Yes.
Do you believe, as I believe, that Mike Tomlin is a great leader of men?
Yes.
We've seen things or different things come from that locker room that we don't expect to come from locker rooms with great leaders of men, which to me says the players lead more than the coach. The coach sets the culture, but the players have to keep it implemented in each and every single day. And so I would ask Dan, think about Bill Belichick and the way that Tom Brady was able to be coached and then find a way to communicate the culture from the top to the locker room. Do you think that can be part of this with this team as well, Dan, not having the right fabric of person in their players?
100%. And that's why I sit here and I go, this isn't a quick fix in Miami where, hey, Tua, you stink, you're gone. Mike McDaniel, you stink, you're gone. Great, we're going to be good. Like, this is a roster that doesn't have a ton of high-end talent, and it doesn't have a ton of high-end, at least publicly, leaders. I mean, they got rid of their guys that have been their alpha leaders, and they're no longer part of the locker room. We could sit here and blame Tua all we want. Tua's lost games this year when they scored 27, 27, 25, and 21. So, no, he hasn't been what he was 2 years ago, but this is a football team that's a little bit devoid of talent. I would say a lot of bit of devoid of talent. The quarterback hasn't played to an MVP level the way he did 2 or 3 years ago. So it's not just going to get better over, hey, a public apology or firing the coach. This is a talent or a roster that needs a lot of talent before we can ever sit there and go, quarterback can't play.
I would agree with you both. Y'all know what y'all talking about. The only thing that I would add is this. It's a lot different when you nosedive after getting your money than before getting your money.
You got to stop that.
I'm just saying, that's how it is. I'm just saying, that's how cats look at it. Y'all both know that. I didn't say it was right, but you know that that's how cats look at it sometimes. There's no way to go. We got the top of the hour. We'll get to it at the top of the second hour, right? You happy?
Yes, sir.
I'll get back to you, all right? Aaron Rodgers is hoping to get the Steelers to 5-1 on the season. Will we be seeing vintage A-Rod tonight versus the Bengals? Hot take incoming. Plus,